Hey guys, it's Peter Cunha from Open Doors. I'm here for my weekly chat with David Baum from Cross Country Mortgage. How are
What's
you,
up?
man?
I'm doing great, Pete. How are you?
Hey, listen, we were just talking about this. One of the crazy things is like obviously inventory is at historically low levels. I think I was looking at a candle chart where we're pretty much at like 50% of where normally we'd like to be with inventory. Like, nationally 1.2 million homes for sale. We're at like 600,000. You're going to a closing, you're kind of humble bragging about how many closings you've had. So what are you saying? What strategies are working on your end? Obviously not everybody can just pay cash for a house. So what are you doing to get people through to the finish line?
Um, just my usual, my honesty, just being ethical, just doing the right thing for my clients, going above and beyond, doing anything I can, you know. But the reality is, it's nothing is easy right now. It is very challenging to get offers accepted. We are having some success, even with FHA borrowers getting deals accepted, whether it's 3.5, 5, 10% down, we're still getting some. I mean, it might be taking them a little bit, ways to finally get something accepted. But borrowers itself right now, a lot of people are paying cash for houses. This, one I just closed the other day was an FHA loan. There were multiple offers on it. Luckily, the house appraised and we were the highest bidder on that. Got a multifamily today, something actually it underappraised a little bit, but the sale price that did come down, they made everything work, and borrower's super happy and they're closing, on a multifamily. Um, but in general, it's just all I'm doing is stuff I would always do, just kind of go above and beyond, trying to help my clients' offers get accepted, reaching out to the listing agents and, putting in a good word, for my
Right.
buyers, obviously, and, for the realtor, just, doing what I can to try to differentiate the buyer versus other people. If there's someone with cash that's way over and, asking price and waiving everything, I mean, no one's going to really compete with that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But it's not the norm.
yeah, and I got to tell you, it's the one thing that we're hearing, or at least I'm seeing a lot, is people are basically saying, "Hey, like, how the waiving of the appraisal, right? I had somebody basically saying that we're not accepting any offers unless they're cash, or your buyer is waiving the appraisal. And it's like, what I find interesting is that there's still like, even with that kind of context and those requirements, you're still seeing 4 or 5 offers on these houses. And, we're getting to the point of, when does it not make sense anymore? And again, how do I tell somebody that it's not worth it when 3 other people are willing to pay the same price?
It's hard. I mean, we get that question a lot. Like, am I overpaying for this house? I'm like, maybe, maybe not, but you can't refinance a house you don't own, number one.
Right,
Number two, from that matter, is a house is worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it.
right,
It's not what you have in your mind. It's not what Zillow says a Zestimate is
right.
or nothing like that. It's what someone is willing to pay for that house in their mind. Unfortunately, that is what the norm is kind of right now. And there's people that have a lot of pain and pleasure, and the pain are the ones that aren't getting offers accepted. They're getting frustrated. And then they're like, the heck with this. I'm going to offer this and I'm going to get this house. Well, is that overpaying? We don't know. I mean, have all the comps been justified right now? No, I mean, not necessarily. And until more homes close, there's still not a lot of comps. I mean, every appraisal report that I see, the appraisers are like, well, there's not really a good comp, or there's not this, or they're going back further, because there's just no inventory. I saw one appraisal come through. They usually like to see stuff in the last 3 months. They went back almost 12 months, and then the borrower's like, well, if they went back that far, why didn't they use one comp that was 13 or 14 months old? Because that was much higher. And like, well,
Right.
you can't really go past 12. You don't want to even go that far back. But I'm seeing some crazy things. That obviously it's definitely not the norm. But everyone's trying to make the best of the situation with everything right now. And appraisals they're taking a little bit longer right now because they're trying to find the comps or do whatever they can. And I'm seeing underwriting being a little more scrutinized on the appraisals themselves. So the appraisers are definitely doing their diligence and taking a little bit more time and trying to make sure everything is accurate, from that perspective. But it's not an easy time for them right now when the comps just they're not a lot of them, and it's hard to justify, the price,
Right.
increases on stuff if there's not closed comps. So they got
So
to
what
try to justify.
So one of the other talking points that I'm seeing a lot of too is just buyer fatigue, submitting these offers, not getting accepted offers, and then you know saying, "Hey, I'm gonna re-sign a lease for a year, and I'm gonna try again next year," right? And doesn't this sound familiar for the last 4 years? And what people are paying now versus what they could have bought for like even 2 years ago. And it's unfortunately, you know, I predict that we're only going to see like, interest rates, the inflation number is one of the big factors in this that has nothing to really do with the housing market, but it does because that's part of the inflation number. And, you know, I don't see interest rates going down, right? So it's kind of like, people aren't selling because they're tied to their interest rate. But you're paying 100% interest rate if you're renting, right? So um, just kind of trying to talk people into a better strategy of not trying to time the market but trying to time the scenario, which basically to me is, are you a long-term owner or are you a short-term owner, right? Do you see yourself living in this house, or is this going to be a house because we're on the Jersey Shore that you're going to rent out in 2 years and you're going to find yourself in a bigger house?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's tough. Like I said, we all know right now with the inventory, it's scarce. 85% of America's got a rate below 4% right now. So,
Good
you
for them.
know,
God bless them.
good for that. Good for 85% of America, right?
Yep.
The other 15% that's above it, a lot of people that are been buying now since 2022, maybe first second quarter of 2022 or higher,
Right.
right? Those people at some point in time, hopefully, will have the opportunity to refinance and save some money.
Sure.
But who knows when rates are going to come back down? Who knows where they're going to be? Healthy real estate markets, rates were like fours and fives. The majority, if you really look at historically, that's been a healthy market. Um, we've been blessed, during COVID. It took a pandemic to, get rates that low, obviously. And a lot of people took advantage, whether buying or refinancing. So, I
Absolutely.
think that if and when rates could kind of get below 5.5, I think a lot of those sellers will be like, you know what, I'm okay with selling now and go on to
Right.
buy something else. But if rates are sevens, they're like, I don't know about that just yet, unless they already got something else. So, it's challenging and nothing is easy right now. But there is hope. People are getting offers accepted. So buyers, don't be discouraged. It's just, there will be an opportunity to hopefully save money in the future with a refinance, right? But you got to get a house. You can't refinance something you don't own.
Right.
And a lot of people have that mentality. They're the ones kind of, winning the bids. I mean, unfortunately, the rates, they are what they are right now. So as long as you can still be comfortable making your payments on where things stand right now, um, there hopefully will be an opportunity to save money in the future. We just don't know when that is, but there will be another refinance boom at some point in time for all these people that are buying with these higher rates.
Yeah, and again, we don't know when that's going to be. We can't, project on that. But I think for most people, it's like I remember when people were so fixated on, when interest rates went to 5% and now they're 3. I think that, basically home buyers are getting used to the new normal, right? Which is, it's 7%. That's what it is. That's the price of admission. So I still think it's a great investment. If interest rates go down, people might put their houses on the market or look for the perfect home. Whereas, just getting property right now is a great thing too. So,
And how many more buyers are going to come into that market? When rates do drop, though, that's the other thing. It's going to be very challenging. You see, there's, on social media, you see these little posts of like, say, rates at 7%, 7.5%. There's one person walking down the street, and then if rates get to 6.5, now you got like 10 people, and then it says if rates get to 5, you got like a couple hundred all in the street now. So, it will just bring more people to the table.
right.
Hopefully, like I said, inventory will pick up, to offset a lot of these extra buyers that will come into play when rates do drop.
Yeah, and I'm excited for some people because I know that they're moving out of state and they're getting good value. They're probably overpaying by Florida standards, but they're leaving Jersey with money in hand. So
Yeah, I mean, other states have different inventory. There'll be more inventory you know, in other areas, but where we're at in Monmouth County predominantly, right? Inventory is low and it's got a lot of high demand.
yeah, hey Dave, I appreciate you. Let's stay on top of this. It's I'm like you. I've been having some success with my buyers, even the ones that are getting mortgages and stuff. So yeah, the best we can do is just kind of keep them updated, and I think this is a really good way to get this out to the masses. So I appreciate you doing this with me
No
every week, as we always do. So what's the best way to contact you?
Best way, hit me up 732-853-4969 on my cell or david.baum at ccm.com with an email.
All right, appreciate you, Dave. Listen, thanks for your time, and have a great day.
You too, Pete. Thanks. Take care.